Wow, there's loads of people. Okay, good morning. Actually, just that looks suspiciously like Costas Damiano there. Okay, Costas, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good, thank you.
Fantastic. Long time no see. Good to see you. And Joanna plus at least two that I can see there. Fantastic.
Yeah,
Well
hi,
done.
you've got Heather and Rosie with me today.
Heather and Rosie. I
Yeah.
hate Heather and Rosie. Bob, long time no see. How
Yes.
you doing? Fantastic. Okay, there are a number of people coming in. I suspect that some people have got their cameras switched off, and that's absolutely fine. Excuse me. If you prefer, I'm just welcome along. Thank you very much for coming along. Gonna I'm gonna keep an eye. This is you on the screen, and I'm looking at you now. And then this is my presentation screen that I'm going to refer to in a minute. So I'm not. It's not that I'm ignoring you, but I just want to make sure I deliver properly. If that's okay, is that okay? Okay, good. So in and I will try to keep an eye on the chat box as well. If anyone's got any questions as we kind of go through, that would be feel free to put something in the chat. And I think, yes, I have got something in the chat already. I use a bit of AI that helps me with meeting notes, just in the case I say something inspired that I might want to write down a little bit later on. Or even better, if Costas comes in and gives us something inspirational to write down, that would be fantastic. But that's fine. It's also being recorded as well. So if you're okay with that, I hope you're okay with that. But if not, switch cameras off, and I'll do something else. Okay. I'm very much hoping this is not going to be a lecture, even though I do those from time to time. I'd really like this to be informative, entertaining, and stuff like that. But so, is everyone familiar with a television program called Peaky Blinders? Okay, so no, okay, fantastic. Okay, um, no, it's not my favorite television program, but it is my wife's favorite television program. So we were both sat on the sofa one day, and it's interesting how one person, could see a bit of content and take one thing away from it, and another person can watch a piece of content and take something else completely different away from it. And so I watched this particular scene unfold. It's 67 seconds long, and I thought, my God, that is the best sales pitch I think I've ever heard. And it's delivered by Cillian Murphy as well. And so I suspect that really, really helps. I'm no Cillian Murphy, but no laughing. I know Cillian Murphy, but I do think there's a lot that we can take away as salespeople um, to become much better at what we do. So, with your permission now, well, which I hope will be granted, I'm going to do a bit of a shared screen. I'm going to go through a couple of things, then we're going to get to the scene and we're going to break it down um, into sort of bite-sized segments, and I will do my level best to finish at 12:29 to allow myself to be a minute over time, and then we can all um, help us manage our calendars just a little bit better, so if that's okay. So I am gonna share my screen now. Could you give me a a thumbs up if you can see Killian Murphy on your screen now. That's a really good sign. Thank you. Right, okay. And I'm going to share a video in a bit, and I am therefore going to share the sound as well. Okay, right. Okay, so excuse me. Right, so growth secrets, sales reviews. I delivered this for a program you may have heard of, business growth program called Help to Grow, which I'm a mentor on, and I work with a couple of universities in the UK on this. Okay, I'm just going to fire through it. Okay, so by the way, in the chat, what would be really helpful is just to kind of let me know whereabouts you are as well, how you found out about this. We're probably on LinkedIn, but there might be one or two other ways that you found out about it. And it would be really helpful as well, how confident you are at sales and selling at the moment. And I hope I'll be able to get you a notch or two above. So 1 is not at all confident, but that's okay, you're in a good place. And 10 is, well, we should probably swap places. I'm not aware that anyone's a 10. I certainly wouldn't call myself a 10, especially since the pandemic. When I don't know about you, Costas, Bob, and Joanna, but I think the rules have totally changed. And so the days of the older guy with grey hair, or girl for that matter, with grey hair, espousing their wisdom to everyone else, they are long gone. And I learned just as much from the people that were unfortunate enough to work from as I hope they learn from me. 36 is not my age. It's how long I've been in sales. I won't go into that too much, but anyway, 36 years. I've done lots of different types of selling, from broadband with BT for about £45 or dollars a month, up to software outsourcing worth over $1 billion, and pretty much everything in between. But I can tell you that whatever you're selling, the sales principles are pretty much the same. Some's a bit more complicated maybe, but they're actually not a lot of difference. And what do I do now? I do lead generation almost exclusively on LinkedIn, and sales mentoring as well. Oh, let's just let someone in. Fantastic. I do this for SMEs, just me's, standalone individual coaches, consultants, things like that, and sales professionals that are already working for perhaps a larger company, but I work with them as well. Anyway, that's it. So I believe winning business, closing business is just the natural conclusion to a well-qualified sales conversation. That's a strongly held belief of mine. So you shouldn't have to pester people. You shouldn't have to strong arm them into submission. And we've all, including myself, been on the receiving end of salesperson's tactics, where you kind of feel a little bit bullied or intimidated or cajoled. Yes, sometimes we have to influence and persuade and all those things, but actually, if you've done all the work up front, I believe you've researched your ideal customer. It's about getting the right message to the right person at the right time. That was true in 1988 when I first started in sales, and it's probably even more true now. Same principles: right message, right person, right time. Okay, right. So your role as a salesperson. So by all means, come off of mute. What is the word that you're thinking when you look at this image? Anyone want to have a guess?
Trust.
Thank you. Have you seen this before, Bob?
No.
Okay,
No.
right. Trust. If you don't trust the salesperson, you're not going to buy. And if you are the salesperson and you're not trustworthy, they're not going to buy. This is assuming you're doing anything more complicated than going in the shops to buy a newspaper. If you're doing anything more than that, selling services, products, if you don't have trust, Notice I say not sales skills, persuasion skills, influencing. If you don't have trust, you've got nothing. So how do you get trust? How do you build it? It is complicated. There's lots of stuff that goes into building trust. First thing is you've got to look them in the eye. There's the first tip. If you're on video, you don't look at the screen. This is me looking at you on the screen. You look at people in the eye, and that's the white dot at the top. So that's really important. That builds a communication, a direct level of communication between you and the person that you're talking to, as we're doing lots of selling over video these days, or certainly I am. So look them in the eye. You've got to keep your word. We were all on time. Thank you for being so. But that's all part of building, because trust is earned. You don't just get trust. Deep listening. That's a McKinsey term. I just call it listening. But deep listening is not just being quiet when someone else is talking. It's about really taking it in, processing it, understanding it, and then coming out with something intelligent when it's your turn to talk. I've mastered most of it, not always on the intelligent thing at the end, but we'll figure that out. And learning how to solve problems, because people only buy when they, if you equate buying something as a bit of a, they've got an itch, you've got to give them something to scratch that itch. That's what I'm saying. So it could be a television, it could be a new car, it could be a complex service, an IT outsource or something like that, but you've got to solve their problem for them. You've got to be the answer to their problems. And there are only two kinds of benefits, no matter what you're selling, products or services. There are only two kinds of benefits. Would anyone like to hazard a guess as to what one or both of them might be? Joanna's group have been very quiet. Would you like to hazard a guess? No? Okay, right. So, all right. Only two kinds of benefits that you can deliver. You can either help people sell more stuff. We're talking about business to business sales here. Sell more stuff or reduce costs. So sell more stuff, reduce costs. If you think about what you're doing, you might even be able to do both. That would be a really valuable value proposition. So I'd be interested in which you are as well. And I can't read the chat just at the minute, so you might have to come off of mute if I haven't got anything. Costa, you look like you're going to say something. You loitering with intent.
No, I'm trying to not say anything today.
Okay,
I'm here to listen
all
and
right.
absorb.
Oh, right, this is the bit where I try and say something intelligent then. Okay, so now that we've got those fundamentals, right message, right person, right time, building trust, let's have a look at what's going on in this particular scene here with Cillian Murphy. I'm going to play it all the way through, first of all, which is about 60 seconds, and then we'll go back and we'll break it down a little bit. Okay, so if you could just give me a thumbs up if the sound's coming out, okay?
Morning, Mr. Kimber. Rescued from the Lay Brothers and return to you with a request for a fair hearing. Your own protection is failing, Mr. Kimber. Your boys are taking cuts. I want to suggest that from now on, you contract out your racetrack security with the Peaky blinders. They'll be saving you a lot of money, Mr. Kimber. A lot of money. In return, you give us 5% of the take and 3 legal betting pitches at every race meeting north of the River Severn, rising to 6 after 1 year if we are all satisfied with the service. Please say, Mr. Kimber. Oh my God.
Right. Okay then. Did I presume you could all hear that? Okay. Okay, fantastic. Right there in those 67 seconds are pretty much all the sales skills you will ever need. Right there. So I'm just going to break that down just for a few minutes and just kind of highlight them all. Will this turn you into super salespeople? No, but it actually it's not a bad start, and it's the reason that I'm really interested in this is because I wish I'd have known this when I first started out in 1988. Okay, right. So let's kind of break this down. Let's see what happens. Okay. Would anyone like to hazard a guess as to what just happened there? Jonah's team is on mute, by the way, just in case you're.
Sorry, we were struggling to hear the sound.
What, me now speaking, or
No, the actual video playing.
right? Is that the same for you, Bob?
It is a bit at the minute, yeah.
Okay. 1 second. Let me just. In that case, have I share computer sound? All right. Can I play that again? Because it is kind of important. 1 second. How better? Let's play it again.
Your money, Mr. Kimber. Rescued from the Lay brothers and returned to you with a request for a fair hearing. Your own protection is failing, Mr. Kimber. Your boys are taking cuts. I want to suggest that from now on, you contract out your racetrack security to the Peaky blinders. We'd be saving you a lot of money, Mr. Kimber. A lot of money. In return, you give us 5% of the take and 3 legal betting pitches at every race meeting north of the River Severn, rising to 6 after 1 year if we are all satisfied with the service. What do you say, Mr. Kimber?
I say you talk business to my accountant. I want to dance.
Okay. So, could we all hear that? Okay, I hope we could. Right. Okay, brilliant. Welcome, Kajal, if you've just joined. Okay, right. So, Kajal, your recording will be available this afterwards if you've missed a little bit. But okay, so I'm going to break that down. I'm going to open it up again, and we'll see what happens. Okay. What just happened?
He's leading with the result, the benefit.
Interesting. Yeah. It does, although it's got no context to it at the moment. Costas, want to guess?
I was going to say he showed his balls right from the offset and confidence.
Okay, I'm going to go with confidence.
Balls in a polite manner, not a...
We're in the West Midlands now. I'm not, by the way. I'm in York. Okay, so he there's a number of things going on there. If it's what I call a pattern interrupt. Okay, so Billy Kim, this is Billy Kim. If anyone knows that he's a gangster in this television program, and he probably knows Tommy Shelby through reputation, but that's all. They've not met before. So it's a pattern interrupt. Billy Kimber's enjoying his evening, and Tommy Shelby wants his complete and undivided attention. And he's found a way to give him that attention. Now, Bob, you're in the social media business, if I remember correctly. That's the equivalent in social media of stopping someone scrolling through their LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever it is and clicking on their post. It's what so it's a pattern interrupt, in that's what the psychologists would call it, a pattern interrupt or an intervention.
We call it a finger stopping moment.
Do you? Well, you went to a posher school than me then, because I call it a poke in the eye. But they all amount to the same thing. We're being bombarded with information, and now the game is almost to switch everything off and find a way, again, right message, right person, right time. This is about that moment, right message, right person, right time. This is the pattern interrupt. This is grabbing someone's attention, the equivalent of social media. Stop them scrolling. Okay, right. What happens next?
Money, Mr. Kimber. Rescued from the Lay brothers. And returned to you with a request for a fair hearing.
Okay, right. So, your money, Mr. Kimber, da 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 da. What do we think might have just happened there?
He's grabbing attention by saying this is your money, and the other person's probably wondering, well, why is it my money?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot going on there, isn't there? So it's your money. He's not just handing over the money. He's done something really quite innovative. He's already got their attention. Now he's got their attention. He's got to do something that's valuable. He's got to earn that attention now. Do something that's valuable and of interest to Billy Kimber. In this instance, he's doing a number of things. He's doing that, and that's almost unsaid. But what he actually says is, "Your money, Mr. Kimber." And he said, but in return for a fair hearing. So there's a trade going on. There's a negotiation that's already going on. Billy Kimber hasn't even said anything. But Tommy Shelby is taking control of the environment and telling him up front, here's something of value for you. But in exchange, I want your undivided time and attention. That's what he's saying. And isn't that what we're all trying to do with our customers? He's also taking something which I call taking a gift to the meeting. Now, a lot of people certainly in the Western world would interpret that as, I better take a box of chocolates or a bottle of wine or something like that. You can do that if you really want to, but he's taking something much more important. He's taking a gift. He's taking the gift of insight to the meeting. And what that means is, I'm going to tell you something about your business that you don't know. Because the chances are quite high, knowing this character, that if Billy Kimber already knew that someone was stealing with their business, he'd probably put a fairly brief, quick stop to all of that. And he has a particular way with dealing with people that misbehave in this. And I had to search long and hard for a scene that didn't have any death or swearing in. And this is the one that I'm going to run with. Okay, so he brought the gift of insight, being able to, if you've ever heard that term, you've only got to know 1% more than your customer to be an expert. So he's bringing insight to something that's going on in Billy Kimber's company, and which Billy Kimber doesn't already know about. Okay, so he's got his attention now, and he's given him that piece of value.
Your own protection is failing, Mr. Kimber. Your boys are taking cuts. I want to suggest that from now on, you contract out your racetrack security to the Peaky blinders.
Okay, brilliant. So, a problem statement. Do you remember we said earlier on, people only buy stuff if they've got a problem? He didn't, and Billy Kimber didn't even know he had a problem. So Tommy Shelby has brought it to his attention. So here's the problem. And not only have I told you that you've got this problem, actually, I've got the magic solution to your problem. I'm going to get you to contract out your racetrack security to the Peaky Blinders. Okay, so he's got a problem and he got a solution to the problem. So they're going to scratch that itch. Now so let's listen to what happens next.
We'd be saving you a lot of money, Mr. Kimber. A lot of money.
There we go. Do you remember there's only two benefits you can deliver for your customers? No matter what you sell, services or products, you can either help them increase sales or decrease costs. And right there, Tommy has said, I'm going to save you a lot of money, Mr. Kimber. So he's going to decrease costs. Okay, let's listen to what happens next.
In return, you give us 5% of the take and 3 legal betting pitches at every race meeting north of the River Severn.
Right, so there's the first part of the value proposition. So contract out your racetrack security to the Peaky Blinders. Now, what he's saying there is he wants 3 of the racetracks. So Billy Kimber has a vast estate of businesses. He wants 3 of the racetracks for 5% of the take, 5% revenue for the first 12 months. Okay. Let's have a listen to what happens next.
Rising to 6 after 1 year if we are all satisfied with the service.
How about that? So we're going to enter into it having this much business just to see if we're all comfortable. That's what we call a fractional strategy. There's not enough trust. We're back to trust again. There's not enough trust between the two organizations to ask for all the business. That might be too much to ask. So we're just going to ask for a little bit of the business. And very skillfully, he's already negotiating in a doubling of the price in the second year, because he's going to double the number of the racetracks to 6 in the second year. So he's already training the buyer as to how he wants the buyer to behave. Okay, let's have a listen to what happens next. I'm speeding through this because it's 25 past 12 already.
What do you say, Mr. Kimber?
I knew that was going to happen. Right, 1 second.
After 1 year if we are all satisfied with the service.
Right.
What do you say, Mr. Kimber?
What do you say, Mr. Kimber? What's that? What do you think the objective of that question was? Okay, can I give you the answer? We'll speed this on. He's not actually saying, isn't that fantastic, Mr. Kimber? Press hard, 5th copy is yours. He's not actually going as far as to say that, because if you ask that question too brutally, too upfront, it's almost certainly going to result in a no. So instead, he's kind of dipping his toes in the water. He's doing what we call a trial close, a soft close. What do you say, Mr. Kimber? He's not asking, do you want to place all your business with us? He's, what do you say? What are you thinking? How does that sound? It's a test close, a soft close. Okay. With me so far, Costas? Thank you. Right, okay. Let's have a listen to what happens next.
I say talk.
What happened there?
He stayed quiet. He waited for the other one to speak back.
Right on the money, Joanna. The silence is terrifying. Silence is absolutely. If you've ever been in a restaurant and everyone's dining away, drinking, and occasionally during the evening or lunchtime or whatever it is, suddenly it'll all go quiet and everyone will look up and around. What's going on? Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me. Anyway, silence is terrifying. The human instinct is to want to fill in that silence because everyone's uncomfortable, and an uninitiated salesperson or business person will not give silence. They will say, "What do you think? That's a fantastic offer, isn't it?" Instead, the silence. So the pressure, if that's the right word, is on the prospect to respond to that question. What do you say, Mr. Kimber? And Mr. Kimber now is like feeling, well, I'm on the spotlight's on me. Gosh, what do I think? What am I going to say? The experienced salesperson, the confident salesperson, is going to stay quiet until they get the response. And let's see what Billy Kimber's response is.
Business to my accountant. I want to dance.
Okay. Right. Billy Kimber's response is, I say talk business with my accountant, I dance. So is that yes? No, it's not yes. Is it a no? No, it's not. It's conditional. We're back to conditionality. It's if this stacks up, so it's a complex deal. If this stacks up, the accountant says yes, we're almost certainly going to do that. We in big deals, you would call that due diligence, where the accountants get round, they get their spreadsheets, they get under the covers, if you like, just to make sure everything's going to stack up. And now they're going to walk off into the sunset and get this deal done. If you know the series, they form this great big relationship, and everyone's happy, and it's really profitable, and all of that. Okay, right. So, last 30 seconds. So your 5 sales secrets. Cut through the noise. I can send you these slides, the external version of them. If you want them, drop me a line, respond to the email, and I can do that. So cut through the noise. A crystal clear sales message. You're probably only asking for one thing and one thing only. Train buyers in advance how you want them to behave. He did that. If, lots of conditionality. Taking a gift of insight to the meeting. And he was able to close softly without strong arming the prospect into submission. And then there's a load of skills going on the right hand side. Okay, so why have I invited you here? No surprises, but this is the first, by the way, of a series of 7 I'll be doing every Thursday, 12 o'clock to 12:30, and I'm going to go through some new sales skills. But I would love, in the last 15 seconds or so, the QR code, again, I'll send this afterwards. I have got a new 8 top tips for sales professionals or of any seniority, whether you're just starting or whether you've been in the business. Costas, you must know Lisa Jobins. Lisa, former colleague of both of ours, and she's done this. I work with her quite closely, and there's a special deal on that until tonight, the end of tonight, for $12.99. You're welcome to do that, and that's gives you a list of what's going on the right. We talk about features and benefits, and next week. So the next week, I'm going to be talking about how to tell your story, your company's story, in 60 seconds flat. And I'm going to run through The Wolf of Wall Street, if anyone knows that movie. Again, no killing or swearing there. I'm going to run through a scene in that. There's not a scene every week. It just so happens the first 2 weeks there is going to be a scene, and you're very welcome to come along to that. So I'm going to wind it up there. I'm afraid I am a minute or so over time. Are there any questions? I'm going to suggest you email if there are questions. I'd love to do a follow-up video for this. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I spotted 1 or 2 people writing things down. That's always a good sign. It depends on what they wrote, of course. But anyway, I'll let you get off to your lunch. Wish you bon appetit. And next week for how to tell your story in 60 seconds flat, and I'll send you all an invite to that afterwards. Okay, and if you liked this, please feel free to tell people in your professional network about it as well. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There we go. We're off. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye now. Bye.